Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Jacob back home in Wisconsin. Obviously, the fellers were at the Packers Seahawks game, and you'll hear it in Jacob's voice here in a minute. I believe my man did a little bit of a little too much screaming for a preseason game, I think. Although the hat you're sporting is sweet, I got to say that. But just want to say thanks to everybody who's joining us this evening on this glorious August the 24th, 2 days from 53-man roster Cutdown. We're going to do a full PFF breakdown tonight from the Seahawks game, talk about who maybe helped themselves on making the 53, maybe who hurt themselves. And if we get time, we'll talk a little more into the 53-man roster projection. But I think we'll hold a little bit of that until tomorrow. Obviously, we put like 3 or 4 shows out in the last 24 hours, so we've definitely been cooking with the content. So before we get into all that, though, if you would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. What we are fans just like you out here talking Packers on the daily. We're doing pregame shows, postgame shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards, PFF reviews, all that stuff. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, make sure you hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live. And I want to apologize if the mic cuts out. We got a new one that should be here tomorrow. I really, really appreciate everybody in the chat communicating yesterday and getting us through that little rough patch there and saying, hey, Clayton, you sound like you're in a soup can right now. But Tim, Jacob, how y'all doing, fellas?
Doing good. I got my voice back. How about you, Jacob?
I'm doing well.
No, you ain't.
It was a great trip. I can't thank Tim and his wife for the hospitality, but I made the mistake of yelling, a little too loud. Got me a lady cop friend, to tell you that. Besides that,
there you go. I'm gonna leave it up to Jacob to try to hit on a cop. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't try. I did it.
I did. We've got the visual evidence, I believe, right? We've actually got the photos. So, anyway,
Tim, do that, you're going to get your ass kicked, and then
you do that, you're going to get pistol whipped, right, Tim? That's what's going to happen. So,
I think Jacob was looking to get handcuffed. I don't know. That's my theory.
I think it's hilarious because me and Jacob have been to a game as well. And we set up in the luxury box, right? And on our way in, I don't know if you remember this or not, Jacob, but they were saying you couldn't leave and come back in, this and that. Me and Mandy were waiting on up in the line. I look back and he's got his arm around the lady who's working the door. His arm is around her and she's still scanning tickets as they're coming in. She's laughing, cutting up with him. Like, you know her? No, I just met her. Of course.
What are you talking about? That's my job.
All right. You guys got anything you want to hit on real quick before we jump into the offensive PFF grades from the Seahawks game there yesterday? I'd like to get your all's just general take as well. I know we didn't get to talk about it, so maybe let's just lead off with that. How did the game go? What stood out to you? And what was the environment like? We'll start with you, Tim.
Oh, it was a great environment. Jacob's brother Sam made a great comment. He's like, I'm so used to either being sweltering hot at Lambeau Field or freezing my butt off at Lambeau Field. And
perfect.
Yesterday was like the most perfect weather maybe in my lifetime that I've been to a game. Normally in the preseason, it gets to be a scorcher. We had a beautiful day, a little bit windy. I was surprised our kicking game wasn't affected very much. It was pretty swirly winds there in Lambeau, but it was great crowd, near capacity for the final preseason game. Of course, me and Jacob were fired up about our boy Brenton Cox Jr. I thought he played pretty good. Kalen King played pretty damn good yesterday. And then, of course, we got to see that absolute gem of a catch by Matthew Golden just in front of us there along the sideline. It was pretty cool. Just a great day, man. It was great time.
So that catch actually happened on your sideline. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
It looked great. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, no, Tim kind of stole my thunder. I thought Brenton Cox played great. Kalen King, I think Deslin Alexander may have played himself onto this team, which is crazy. I thought Christian Welch looked good, and I really liked Hopper as well.
Yeah.
And there was just like Tim said, it was such a perfect environment. We had Seahawks fans right in front of us that were real respectable and tried to make sure that they had a good time. And it was just, I went and tried to be the nice guy and pick up some trash on my way out, and I cut myself open on a beer can and just blood everywhere. And Tim's like, oh yeah, it was terrible. And so anyways, that's what you get for trying to be a nice guy. But I don't think I could have ever had a better time than the weather was perfect. And it was actually kind of crazy seeing how much the wind kind of swirls in that stadium. Me and Tim were looking on the flags on one side of the stadium were just beating down the south side, and then you look on the other the other end of the end zone and the flags are going the opposite way. And I'm just like, how is that even possible? It's just crazy. But yeah, great time.
It's hilarious. That's what you get for being a nice guy right after talking about hitting on a cop. I love it, man.
That's what Jacob's not saying. The cop told him, hey, go pick up some trash before I take you in.
Look, I connected with her. We locked eyes, and I was like, come here. And I put my hands behind my back, and she's like, no. And then 15 minutes later, I was like, photo, come on. Yeah, it worked.
All right. Let's get this back on track here. My God. Let's go to the PFF grades. So let's start with offense. Tim, I'm going to need the who drop here really, really soon. Brant Banks leads the way for offense with a 79.6 on 29 snaps. My man went out there and had him a ball game. Boys played right tackle, looks like. Pass blocking grade 86.1, run blocking grade of 76.2. Now, I'm sure he was playing in the latter parts of the game against the third and fourth stringers, right? But nonetheless, man, who knows? Maybe he earned a spot on the practice squad. Next is John Fitzpatrick, only 8 snaps, 79.6. I know you see that and think, well, it's not a big sample size. The fact that he only had 8 snaps tells me that's probably tight end 3. Do you agree with that, Tim, right off the bat there?
Oh, yeah. It's Tuck Norris, Musgrave, and Johnny Fitzpatrick for sure, in my mind.
That's what I'm thinking too, man. JJ Lipe, I think is how you say the name. Left guard, 29 snaps, 77.6. Zach Tom played 18 snaps, 77.3. Of course, we're just used to that, those top scores, right? Tyler, left guard, 20 snaps, 75.5. And then our boy, Matthew Golden, 16 snaps, 74.6. Man, oh man, am I excited about Matthew Golden. Matter of fact, I think we've got that catch. Let me drop this down and we'll come back to the PFF grades. And I think we've got a shot of that where I'd put a tweet out and just a quick little breakdown of our boy, Matthew Golden. So he wraps up his first preseason of his NFL career with a 72.7 PFF grade on 28 snaps. So the first game he graded out a 65, this game a 74, coming in with a PFF grade of 72.7 on the preseason. Here's that play we were talking about. And I won't go full screen for obvious reasons, but let's roll this thing and take a look at it. Malik Willis, I want to say, rushing them back to the line of scrimmage, kind of getting them on the heels, right? And then drops back. It was basically a 3 verts with a crosser underneath there to Tucker Kraft. And look at it in slow motion here, this adjustment. I mean, Matthew Golden, man, the moment is just not too big for him. Somebody had said something in a tweet. They had responded to my tweet and was like, is it just me? It was something along these lines. Is it just me, or is Matthew Golden the first receiver we've had in a while that just doesn't do anything goofy? It just seems like he always plays under control. You never look up and go, oh, come on, man, there's a missed opportunity. And I get it. We haven't seen very many snaps, but boy, oh boy, in camp and everything else, Jacob, this guy just seems like a pro-ready wide receiver, man. I'm trying to curb the enthusiasm, but damn, it gets harder and harder every day, man.
Yeah, and what's more impressive is, if you look at that, nothing against Malik or whatever, but that could have been an easy interception. And the way that he went back and played the ball and understood that, you talk about late hands. We compare him to Devontae Adams, how he has that kind of aspect. He also seems to have a type of situational awareness where he understands, all right, I got to go back to the ball and make a play on it, or at the very least be a defender and just not let it be an INT. But he's far surpassed anything I ever expected at this point. I mean, it's and you watch him. I mean, he was one thing. Like, there was 2 things I noticed in person. It was how fast he does look, how great he looks, and how freaking huge Kadeem Telfort is on the field. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, wow. I mean, Matthew Golden, man, just the way he moves, it just seems, again, effortless, like as if he's not even trying. Just gliding.
I think a good word to describe it, Tim, is instinct too, right? Doesn't it seem like he's got good football instincts?
Yeah, and that's again, I don't know how you teach that, right? That's something you either got or you don't. Some guys get better, the instincts improve as the more they play the game, but some guys just have it, and I think it's so true. Like to Jacob's point, watching this in slow motion, I think Malik probably could have put a better ball out there, but I do credit our quarterback there in that situation. We're running them up to the line. It's a hurry up deal. Get everybody set. You could see Seattle scrambling to try and figure out what was happening. And he looked left and he got to a second read. He saw one-on-one with the bullet and he fired that ball up there, and Matthew Golden doing what he does, which is go get the football. There are a lot of receivers, especially rookie receivers. That's an interception right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Hands down, that's an interception by the DB. Matthew Golden went and took that football away from that defensive back, and it was a thing of beauty. Can't wait to see this on a regular basis, right? We'll get more than 18 snaps a game out of Matthew Golden here real soon, right?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it, man. So, again, there's a little Matthew Golden update. And do you think he'll make the 53-man roster?
That'll be my one prediction that I'm going to go ahead and make. Yeah, I predict Matthew Golden will make the 53.
Bet the farm on it, baby. Bet the farm. So, obviously, Matthew Golden, 74.6. Malik Heath, 68.6. Kadeem Telford, 66.4 with 32 snaps. I thought he played pretty good ball yesterday based off what I've seen. Josh Jacobs, only 2 snaps. We'll just leave that off. Romeo Dobbs, 16 snaps, 64.7. Chris Brooks, 63. Julian Hicks, 63. Emmanuel Wilson, 63. Sean Clifford, 62. Luke Musgrave, 61. Tucker Kraft, 60. McCole Hardman, 59. Let me just get your all's opinion on McCole Hardman right now up to this point. Based off what we've seen in the preseason, you're looking at a 43, a 65, then a 59. His PFF grade, a 53.2 throughout the preseason. Forget the PFF grade for a minute. Do you guys think he's done enough to make the roster over Malik Heath or not? What do you think, Jake?
Me and Tim had a conversation last night. I don't think so. Tim, I don't know. I just feel like that the talent we have with younger guys is just a little bit too much for him to bypass them. We talk about progress stoppers and that sort of thing. Has your mind changed since last night, Tim?
No, not really. And I think it says more about Malik Heath than it does McCole Hardman.
Right.
I think McCole Hardman is a proven veteran, world champion wide receiver. Brings you a little bit of depth in the return game, although that didn't look very spectacular this preseason. And then I think with his reps, his receiving reps, those were a little underwhelming as well. And then you flip the coin and look at, my boy Malik Heath, who's a dog. He's been a dog since he's gotten here. I think he's just put together a really solid overall camp. It's important we have to look at that too, right? We just wrapped up this final preseason game. I mean, they're evaluating based on this whole training camp, and a lot of guys may or may not have played their way on or off of this team in this final game. But I don't think McCole Hardman is going to be judged, just solely on this last one. But Malik Heath looks good. I don't know. It's probably one of the tougher decisions in my opinion, but I would have to say, yeah, I'll go with Malik Heath slightly for McCole at this point.
Joseph in the chat says, I just don't think he makes a roster over others who bring more roster versatility. And when I think of Malik Heath, I think of somebody who can play that slot bully. He can also play the X, right? Okay. His catch rate over expected last year was really, really impressive. Drew D says, I didn't realize Hardman was only 27. It feels like he's been in the league forever. I agree with that for sure.
27 is kind of an OG, though, on this roster, especially in that receiver room.
That's the oldest receiver, right?
Yep.
He's down. So that's a good point.
There's also the nagging injury history with McCole too, that, through no fault of his own, he's just a football player. That could be something that contributes as well. You think of someone getting older. Do you want to hold out a roster spot for a younger guy with someone with a little bit of an injury history?
Right. Not so cool in the chat says, I think Hardman stays over Heath. Listen, I want to be very clear. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Yep. Right. I'm just simply saying if I was building the roster, I would rather have Malik Heath because it's obvious you were a run-heavy team last year. Malik Heath is going to be better at blocking in the run game. He had the highest catch rate over expected of any receiver on the Packers last year, albeit there was minimal snaps, but he showed that he can make big-time plays, in crucial situations when he's got someone right there in the phone booth with him, right? McCole Hardman, world-class speed. He can run the end arounds, jet sweeps, things like that. The drops is what worries me. in the preseason. I keep thinking to that out route that he dropped. And I know Malik Heath's had drops as well, but I don't know. For me, I think I'm taking Heath just because of the versatility for sure. Hardman for utility overall, says Holmes, MD1. So, yeah.
Great point. It's a close call either way. Like,
So
I don't think any of us can predict this with any certainty,
Yeah. What I would ask, though, is if Hardman doesn't make the team, who's our punt returner? Who's the kick returner?
Keyshawn Nixon said earlier this week that he wanted to return kicks.
So he's back on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you notice no one else really returned kicks much other than
Abani Kanda. Yeah.
So, I think it's probably going to be Keyshawn, and behind him, who knows, right? And that's where Hardman does have some value, although you guys remember, dude, didn't he muff 2 fumbles or muff 2 punts in one preseason game? Hardman?
Yep. Well, he had one that was a bad judgment. He caught one on like the 3-yard line and got absolutely blown up. And then there was the one he muffed after that. So, yeah, two blunders in the return game, yeah. That was that first preseason game, I believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, had a fumble too, Drew said there. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we'll see how it shakes out, and then we're going to find out here real soon. And again, we'll do a full deep dive into the projected 53-man roster tomorrow. We'll get I put a thing up on Patreon. I was combing through Matt Schneidman's article earlier today, so I threw his 53-man roster projection on Patreon so everybody can take a look at it, and we'll include it on the show tomorrow and kind of dive into it, see what we agree with, disagree. I got to be honest, there wasn't many I disagreed with on there for sure. You can check that out over patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. So, all right, moving along here. Did anybody at the bottom of the list maybe hurt themselves from making the roster? There's Abanaconda, 42.7. Johnny Lumpkin, 31.4. I think we would all agree we didn't expect him to make the team. Lasita Smith kind of surprised me, 44.6, because he played some center yesterday, right? Am I thinking right?
I think so.
I think he did play center.
I think so.
He played 51 snaps yesterday. It didn't look like it was a good day there, especially in run blocking, but
it was more like Belton again. I'm sure like you were going to highlight. Me and Tim we were talking. Remember we were saying something positive about Belton, and then literally like 20 seconds later they threw the flag on him, and the Seahawks guy in front of us was just like, "Is that the guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the guy."
Yeah, exactly. All right,
he's a rookie. What are you going to do, right? We'll clean that up.
Clean that up. No doubt about it. All right, so there is the offensive breakdown from the game against the Seahawks. Let's move on to defense. Looky here, boys. The top of the list. Mr. Brenton Cox Jr., 18 snaps, 93.1 with a 92.9 pass rush grade, a 72.0 tackle grade. We prayed for days like this with Brenton Cox Jr. We talked about that was his negative, was him outrunning his run fit and then also not being able to play under control, preparing for confrontation in the hole and making the tackle. He seems to have straightened that out a lot toward the back end of last year and obviously in this early preseason. 93.1 for him. Christian Welch, 90.7. What is it? What was that thud on the bottom of Jacob's desk? That was
y'all are terrible.
That was Brenton Cox Jr. talk. That's what that was. All right, so
only a Marine would say something like that in the comments.
Hey, he's our Marine though. That's all that matters. So, Christian Welch, 90.7. Tim, run defense grade 88.4, tackle grade 77.7, coverage grade 77.2. I mean, my goodness, man. What do you think about Christian Welch? Do you think he did enough to make it over Isaiah Simmons?
I mean, yeah,
he did last year.
He ran on a damn team last year. I don't know what to think with Isaiah Simmons because every time I watch him play, he's this freakishly good athletic freak of an athlete. But I don't know. I feel like Christian Welch has outplayed him, especially in the linebacker role. Honestly, I mean, we can talk about the special teams; they're both special team monsters too. But I think Christian Welch gave us some pretty quality football there at linebacker. So I think he might have the edge here.
Krista Casualian says in the chat, Welch cannot be denied. We'll hit the super chat in just a second. Jacob, what's your take on Christian Welch here, man?
Yeah, that was another guy we talked about yesterday, Tim. If you remember, we got back. We actually rebooted the game at Tim's house and watched it over, and we're just looking. We're like, man, Welch is he's flashing. And I remember talking with you, Tim, too. It's just Isaiah Simmons just doesn't look like a linebacker. You know what I mean? He just doesn't appear to have that kind of.
not in this defense, right?
Right. Yeah. And, like Coach Len is saying, he'd love to keep both. I would too. I don't quite know how that all works out now with the depth chart and just trying to fit that guy on the 53. But if you had to make me choose, I would love to have Christian Welch. I have a weird feeling that for whatever reason they'll go with Simmons, but
yeah,
I feel like Simmons would be safe on the practice squad though.
I would think so too. Yeah. And I want to say the same thing about Welch, but we thought that last year, and he gets poached, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Celestial Prophet with the super chat, thank you so much. Said, I hope Chris Brooks is running back 2 or 3. He's so underrated. His pass protect is elite, and his run game is underrated. I agree that he's underrated, but man, Emmanuel Wilson though,
he looks so good.
Though he is
talk about a guy who's gotten better every single year, right?
And by the way, shout out to him. He was in the YouTube comments last night. Said he corrected us and said, "Yeah, I was never on the practice squad. I made the 53 man both years." I was like, "What's up? Let's go."
Emmanuel Wilson was in the comments.
Yeah, looked like a family.
He was on PUP for a while, right? Is that what it was?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, he had an injury or something. I think his rookie year.
Yeah, never made it to the practice squad though, and you could look at the tape, Tim, and go, "Yep, understand why." But I
casually averages 8 a carry, just like
right. Yeah. But I agree with what Celestial's saying here with Chris Brooks in terms of him being underrated, man. It's just a nice safety valve. He's kind of that. I'm trying to think of a player that he reminds me of that you could just kind of plug and play him. You know who he reminds me of? You remember when Amon Green came back to the Packers in the latter part of his career? That was a dude that he wasn't the same Amon Green. I think we would all agree. But you knew he was going to pick up his pass pro. He was going to be in the right spot. If you needed 3.5 yards, he was going to get you 3.5 yards, that type of player. Right. Unlike John Kuhn, where we always said, if you need 2 yards, he'll get you 2 yards. If you need 4 yards, he'll get you 2 yards. You know what I mean? And no Kuhn hate here. One of my favorite players of all time. Love that dude, man.
Talk about a guy who never missed his pass pro, right?
Oh my gosh, dude. I still think about that throw to Randall Cobb where he bounces out and just absolutely completely cuts Julius Peppers' legs out from under him, giving Aaron time to bounce out and hit Randall Cobb for the win. But John Kuhn was the man. All right, sticking back to defense here. Carl Brooks, 90.6 PFF grade. Only on 12 snaps, but still, that's the beautiful thing about Christian Welch's 90.7. Guys, that was on 33 snaps. That's really impressive. Jamin Dumas Johnson, 19 snaps, 89.9. Kingsley Nigbare, only 7 snaps, but an 89.4. Tyron Hopper, 21 snaps, 86.8. Kamal Haddon shut me the hell up.
I know.
36 snaps, 85.8. They gave him an 88.4 coverage grade.
I'm trying so hard to tell myself he's not making this team, but he keeps making a case for himself. He really does.
It's right. You get to the point where you're like, okay, yeah, he's not going to make the team. And then he does something like this. It's like every single time.
Shut up. Don't underestimate him.
Yeah. Rashawn Gary, 74.5. We got some clips here to show too. So Kalen King, 74.0. Love to see that. Isaiah Simmons as well. Let's hit these grades real quick, and then we'll go to the clips that I've got lined up from the defensive side of the ball. But what do y'all think here, man? How are we feeling about it? Is there anybody specifically that jumps off the page to you? I know Bo Melton only had 9 snaps, but a 64. Pretty solid there. There's your boy Deslin Alexander, 30 snaps, 66. Jonathan Baldwin had a pretty decent day too with a 66 too.
Yep. I think Quay looked good too, although PFF has hated Quay forever. So I didn't expect them to like anything that he did. In the little bit of action we saw from Quay, I thought he looked pretty good. But yeah, Tyron Hopper stands out big time. And I definitely think Deslin Alexander just he was everywhere. I mean, it seemed like every time we looked up, he was out there making a play. And there's a drastic improvement right there. If you look at the past two weeks that we saw from him, I don't know if it's like mind-boggling, play your way onto the team kind of, move, but it's certainly what you want to see out of a player that's, still developing. Right. So keep your eye on 49. I'm telling you, he's been slept on for a while, but he's slowly creeping up into the radar here, at least on my radar. I know, Jacob, you've had an eye on him as well. So
yeah, definitely. I think to me, Carl Brooks needed to show out and absolutely performed. quite well, and I think he kind of solidified. I don't necessarily know what his role is going to be and how many snaps he's going to have, but he's definitely be a guy in the rotation that's going to be very important in my opinion.
No, I completely agree with that. Let's look at, and I want to mention Isaiah Simmons and be fair here. That was hands down his best game according to PFF of the preseason. 29, 28, and then yesterday a 70.3 with a 76.4 coverage grade. So obviously played a pretty good ball game. Nonetheless, though, 2025 preseason grade, a 30.5. I just can't justify, man, picking him over Welch. If you keep them both, I get that because he can play special teams and obviously be a contributor there, but so can Welch as well. Yeah, it's just tough look for sure. Let's go to the bottom, see who may have hurt themselves. Warren Brinson, 29-2. Ugh, right? Katano Ladapo, 29-7. Nazir Stackhouse, 39. Let's see how Nas finished up here. 48, 59, 39. What do you guys think? You think Nas makes the 53-man roster here? Do you think it's something we try to stash him on the practice squad? He went undrafted, right?
Yeah, I don't know, Tim. I don't think we talked about him, but I was very underwhelmed from what I saw, which is disappointing because I had a lot of hopes for him. And I know in the week prior, I watched him kind of have some trouble securing a tackle, have guys bouncing off him sort of thing. But I just feel like they need that body type more than anything. But I could see some surprise where, if Brinson, do you think they try to somehow get Brinson and Stackhouse on the practice squad and maybe sign somebody else that is a roster casualty from a different team? Like, do you see that happening at all?
I don't know. I think I'm more in line with your first comment, which is we need that body type. We picked this guy up for a reason, UDFA. I can tell you that from what I've witnessed, he seems to be well loved by the coaching staff over there with the D-line group and, Coach Covington and the boys, and certainly loved by his teammates. I've seen Rashawn Gary go out of his way to put hands on him, work directly with him. We've seen Kenny Clark working directly with him. I feel like they're invested. I could see this going either way, though. I could totally see him going to the practice squad, but I could also see him making the 53, believe it or not, and just being that project piece that, let's be honest, that's the TJ Slayton replacement, I think. And, what a shocker. A UDFA rookie is taking a little time to develop. I'm not ready to cut and run on him. I think practice squad at the very least, and maybe a slight chance that they keep him around. I don't know. What do you think, Clay?
With Stackhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think I would it depends on where you got to make up ground at other positions, but I'd rather try to get Nazir Stackhouse onto the practice squad than take away, say, you could name a handful of players, right? Like if you wanted to go, at the safety position, you want to keep an extra safety, or if you wanted to stash an extra corner, if you wanted to put another wide receiver on the team, I can't justify keeping Nas Stackhouse. His tape was bad, guys. And listen, the first week or two, we were drooling, were we not, guys? We were like, this dude in camp, he looked like a monster. Holy cow! Look at the quickness, everything. The longer that camp went and the more preseason he played, I just kept going, boy, I see now why he went undrafted. Because before I was a little confused in that regard. But yeah, I would probably try to stash him on the practice squad. Unless you feel really good about the other positions, you don't need the extra spot, which we know that's not true. They're always looking to keep, an extra player or two at specific positions. So Fishy Things with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, who plowed his block into the kick returner? I think he's talking about when the returner ended up missing the punt return, or missing the punt, right? He dropped the punt or what have you. There was a train wreck there too. Remember that, where the two Seahawks played?
Oh, it was rough.
That looked horrible, man.
It was so cool to see those guys get up and walk off the field after that, because that was some scary moments at the stadium.
Yeah, it was real bad. I can't remember who it was that drove. It might have been Haddon. It might have been, I'm trying to think of who one of the gunners would have been on punt team. But I don't know if he's genuinely asking or not here, Fishy Things. But if anybody knows the answer to that, throw it in the chat for us for sure. I can't remember who it was.
It was definitely the two Seattle guys ran into each other, though. That was not nobody was launched into them or anything. Right. That I know for sure.
Okay, gotcha. So we may be getting that mixed up then. But thank you for the super chat, Fishy. Sorry we couldn't answer that question, but all right, moving back to the defensive side here. Kamal Haddon, let's talk him a minute here. Do we think he did enough to make this roster. I mean, 41 last week, then an 85 this week on 36 snaps. That finishes his PFF grade at a 61. That's obviously better than his 53 that he had last year in Kansas City. Let's see, here we go. Nobody said Malik Heath was the gunner. So maybe it was Malik Heath that not that drove those two guys together, but evidently that drove a block back into the punt returner. So what do y'all think about Kamal Hadden? I just don't see him making the roster personally. If it were me, I would probably I'd want him on the practice squad. Obviously, he's been with the team for a little over a year now. If I remember correctly, it was about this time last year when we invited him to camp. So for me, I think the cornerbacks would probably be Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, Bo Melton, and Kalen King. If you carry 6, maybe Hadden makes it, but you'd be picking Hadden over Ballantyne, Micah Robinson, and Tyron Herring. What do y'all think? Do you think Kamal did enough to make the team, or is he strictly practice squad?
That's the question we're asking, right? Is one good preseason game enough to make the team?
Yeah, for me,
I don't think in Matt LaFleur's team, I don't think it is. But to that point, he played a hell of a game yesterday. We saw it. We were right there. We saw it with our own eyes. I wouldn't be mad if he was on the practice squad, but if he made the 53, like you said, in a scenario where maybe we're keeping 6 and it's him and not Ballantyne, I could see that too. You know, it could go either way. Again, this is what we say at this time every year, right? I don't want this job.
No,
have fun, Goody. Have fun, Matt and Jeff and the boys. Good luck.
Yeah. I have to agree. I mean, Kamal Hadden definitely played better than I expected. I was very down on him the last week, but it was just another guy that flashed like we talked about. Kalen King just seemed like the moment he rose to it, and that he deserves to be on this 53, in my opinion.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, Kalen King has really, really amped it up here lately. And again, he only played 19 snaps yesterday. We may have widened it out. Oh no. PFF let us down, man. See if we can get it to pull up here. Maybe it's just Kalen King's page.
Yeah,
it is. It's just Kalen King's page. That's the Packers. They tapped into PFF and said, "Stop showing his stuff. Don't let anybody see his stuff." All right. So maybe they are going to try to put him on the practice squad. I don't know. But anybody else on defense y'all want to hit before we get into some of the tape? I mean, I know we got Quay Walker's interesting, right? Only 5 snaps, but I thought he looked good yesterday. I don't know how he got a 53.2 in that short amount of time. Evidently, he blew a coverage because he got a 44.7 coverage.
So good to see Quay on the field again, though. With Edge Coop, with Tyron Hopper, give you a little glimpse at what these stack backers are going to look like. It was cool. Really cool to see him out there making a play in tandem with Edge Coop. That was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, nobody says Tyron Hopper. I just thought he just kept flashing, and every week it's more and more entertaining. To obviously we give a lot of flowers to Quay and to Coop because they deserve it. But the emergence, if we could have 3 really solid linebackers, I don't remember the last time that was a thing in Green Bay. So
we could have 5. I mean,
right.
He's pretty damn solid too. We just talked about Christian Welch. I mean, we could be looking real good in the middle, guys, for sure.
Yeah. And shout out to RW, says Go Pack Go from Portugal. Let's go, man. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Thank you so much for tuning in here from halfway.
We gotta add Portugal to the list now.
Yeah, man. We got to get that map. I got to stop dragging my feet, man. We've got 20 or 25 different countries that we've got viewers in, which is really, really cool, man. And I think some of them just tune in like it's comedy hour, hear my accent. They're like, what these guys are doing over here. My goodness. Tyron Hopper finishes the preseason with a 90.1 PFF grade on 95 snaps. This coaching staff needs to give him the week 1 nod over Isaiah McDuffie in the base 4-3. That was my take over on X. I want to get your all's take on it because, man, I cannot stand the thought of how Edger and Cooper, how they had to slowly ramp him up last year. Injury in camp, didn't get enough reps that they felt comfortable putting him on the field. If we had had Cooper out there a little earlier, I think things would have been even more different there early on in the season. We need to get Tyron Hopper out there, man. I don't know how y'all feel. I want to get your take on it. What do you think? Does Tyron Hopper, should he start over Isaiah McDuffie as the third stack backer in our base 4-3? Or do you think it's something that you still roll McDuffie out there and ease Hopper in?
I'm going to say I think he's earned it. I really do. The question is, are they going to go that route right away to start the year? I could see a scenario where maybe he's not in that role right away, but you never know. Maybe by week 2 or 3, there's a change. But I certainly think that he's made enough strides between this year and last year. He doesn't look completely different, but he looks like a more polished player and definitely more comfortable out there. I think he looked a little uncomfortable at times last year, which is understandable as a rookie, but I'm excited. I think you're right. I really do, Clay. I think he's earned it. Yeah, and you guys know how much I love Zay McDuffie, so this is not a knock on Isaiah McDuffie at all, but I think it's fair to say that Tyron Hopper has earned that spot in the base. And he's going to look great with Coop and Quay and Hopper, man. That could be that nucleus that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, and I want to say this about McDuffie. I'm glad you said what you said, Tim, because I don't think McDuffie has gotten worse, right? No. I think Hopper is just he's peaking now. He's hitting. This is what we've seen in a third-round pick, right? And the fact that Isaiah McDuffie would be your backup stack backer, who's got experience at mock, he's got experience at Sam, he's got experience at Will, all three positions.
With the green dot.
Yeah, you're feeling good about this stack backer room right now, man. You really are. What do you think, Jacob? Would you start Tyron Hopper over McDuffie?
I would, yeah. I think that he is, if anybody has played their way on to being a starter, I think I saw somewhere in the chat that they said, like, don't we only play the base 4-3 in like 50% of the situations? Well, like, correct. Even if that's true, then yeah. But I think that, like Tim said, I love Isaiah McDuffie. I've absolutely had a good feeling about him since we had him, but I just feel like that his floor, we know his floor. And I think that Hopper's ceiling is yet to be determined and that he is actually capable of being, I'm not going to say he's right there with Cooper or something like that, but I think that he may surprise a lot of people with what his ceiling could be.
I feel like Tyron Hopper might have a slight edge when it comes to coverage as well. Having a streak down the field with a tight end or something. I feel pretty good about Tyron.
Because Tim, you remember watching him in coverage a few times, you're like, damn, he's right there in his hip pocket. Like he was, and that's something again, like when he came out of the draft, it wasn't one of those things that like, oh, that's a strong suit. It's kind of like Evan Williams, where you saw him on the field and you're like, oh, he can play. Okay, like all right, I guess
you got to be able to do that in a halfly scheme, right? You got to be able to touch spy and all of that, get back and cover. Yeah, you got to do it all.
Yeah, speaking of doing it all, boy, I think Coach Hafley heard everybody making fun of his defense, talking about, they're not looking so good this preseason. So he said, to hell with the vanilla looks, right? So here we go. This was the sack with Quay Walker, all right? The play call, to me, it looked like a nickel 4-2-5 over shell, Will Mug, cover one man with a double scrape, all right? And I'm not going to.
Jacob was screaming in my ear right before the snap.
He said, I wonder what this is.
He called it right away. I said, I think you're right.
He said, we're going nickel 4-2-5 over shell. Will Mug, cover one man, double scrape.
I actually did say nickel 4-2-5.
You got nickel 4-2-5 out. That was it.
Then I saw the lady cop and I was like, oh.
He saw the lady cop and said, audible, a hot route.
Can't.
Adrian Cooper goes complete Michael Myers, launching himself into the backfield. Quay Walker's ankle looks just fine to me. So, again, the way this is designed, guys, is, first of all, what does all this mean? Nickel 4-2-5, 4 defensive linemen, 2 backers, 5 DBs. They're in an over shell. Notice the defensive tackles are shaded to the strong side of the formation where the tight end is. So that's called an over front, okay? We got Will Mug. So you got Quay playing the Will. He's mugging the tackle, or what we would call the 4-tech. And then you got Cooper. Adrian Cooper is playing Mike. So the way this is going to work is Gary on the outside is going to run just an outside rush. Same thing with LVN. You're going to have the 2 defensive linemen on the strong side of the formation are going to slant inside. Cooper is going to scrape off of the right defensive tackle's hip pocket. And then Quay is going to jab step and then loop all the way around the other side of Adrian Cooper. Watch this play develop. This is mad scientist stuff right here, man. Absolutely love it. Look at Quay, bang. That ankle is fine, fellas. It is just fine.
Which is so perfect that they didn't rush him. We talked about that the past couple of weeks, right? No reason to rush him. And, I agree, Clay. He looks really good.
Yeah. And, again, if we roll it back to the box cam, right, watch Cooper this time. Just key in on Cooper if you can. This running back is going to try to go low and cut him. And watch him just jump completely over him and nail Milrow to knock him off balance. Like that is LT top stuff. Look at that. Bang. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
He's such a dog, dude. I don't think there's going to be a sophomore slump, boys. I don't.
I just love how he refuses to be cut down. You know,
Yep.
like I don't think we got to worry about too many guys trying to take Coop out at the knees, man. He's just going to hurdle you and make you look stupid.
Yeah, and notice LVN too. LVN knows the assignment. I've got to get outside and make him step up and out. And look at him just take the speed around the edge. That tackle, if we were to pause it right there, somebody screenshot that and go, meet, meet. That's all I need on it. Meet, meet. Because LVN, dude, I'm telling you, he understands his role in the defense. He's playing really, really good football this year, man. Really
Just
excited.
love Quay's eyes throughout the whole play, right?
Yep.
Not getting washed out, always looking down the field. We used to see him get washed out on those. He'd get hung up in traffic over there.
Now, watch the guy that's supposed to block him. Look, he's ready for the pass set, right? He makes him commit all the way. Now watch that lineman. Oh, crap.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even touch him. He didn't even touch Quay once that whole play. Great footwork, great eyes on the ball carrier. That was beautiful.
Yeah, love it. Again, here's the all-22 look of it. You see the shell. What the shell is there, guys, is we were showing a too-high look with the shell coverage, okay? So we got two safeties on the shelf, okay? It's just kind of setting up to look like a cover 6 where it's quarter, half because your corner is squatted down here, but it ends up being a man coverage, cover one man, and they're going to fire, obviously, off that double scrape there. And a scrape blitz is basically where a linebacker scrapes on the outside shoulder or, hip pad of a defensive lineman that's going after the quarterback. So, I thought that was a really, really cool play for sure. Go ahead and read that, Jacob. I'll get the next thing set up here, man.
Yeah, I can't. Is it Bob
Noxious.
Bob Noxious. Okay, thank you. He says, this is Quay's year. If he plays up to his potential, we'll have a top 5 D, injuries allowing, of course.
Say it again louder for the haters in the back. This is Quay's year.
I mean, we had a top 5 D. I'm telling you, and that was like Amelia brings up every single time. Quay and Cooper barely played together last year, and now we've seen in just limited snaps how well they are performing when they're just – I have a feeling they're going to be so complimentary, and they're both so athletically talented. And now you got another year with Coop and just kind of the mental stuff. Like it seemed, like we talk about Golden, about how it's effortless. It seems like he just has a different speed, a way of, like Clayton says, LT style, like where the game is not too fast for him. He just absolutely, he just knows how to evade blocks. He knows how to, to stop the run, when to shoot, when to jump, all these crazy stuff. It just seems like that we got ourselves just a potential lethal defense, which again, we've seen what happens in Green Bay when we have lethal defenses. We take home a Lombardi.
That's right. So this tweet I put out back in February, I said the Green Bay Packers run defense went from 25th in 2023 to 2nd in 2024 in yards per carry allowed. Who made that happen? Edgerrin Cooper, 47 stops. That was a 26% stop rate. Rashawn Gary, 39 stops at an 18% stop rate, were our two leading run defenders last year, right? Well, looky here, boys. Rashawn Gary picking up right where he left off, dominating against the run, playing 7-tech, and just way too quick off the snap for the right tackle. Watch Gary on this snap right here, man. This is absolutely awesome. So the right tackle is going to try to block him, okay? Watch Gary just dip right here. Look how quick he is. Ready, go. Whoop. In the backfield, tackle for a loss. Telling you, dude, he's a freak. He does not get enough credit. Love this play right here. Love it. And you'll notice, I think that might have been Kobe Wooden who bounces off a block shed, holds the point of attack. He's right there in the pile as well. But, again,
but Clayton, he only finished 80th in the top 100, and Max Crosby got better scores.
Did you see that earlier too? Like, what are we even doing here, man? It's unbelievable. So, Gary, run defense is going to be just fine, man. Going to be just fine. Look at LVN setting the edge over there. Oh, my God. Watch LVN.
Whoa.
Get out of here, little boy. He throws that guy out of the club.
Clayton, we might have some breaking news right now.
Uh-oh. We got a trade? All right. Let's
clear
this off.
Don't even say it.
I don't know what it is.
Better not be what I think it is.
So it's Adam Scheffner, is that right? Nope, new old lineman. Ryan Eckert just tweeted at me. Thank you so much, Ryan, out there in the Twitter world. So we just picked us up an offensive lineman. Let's get it on the screen, boys. We got breaking news. Hit it again for me one more time. Anytime I ask you to do that, I'm trying to buy myself time because I'm slow. But all right, here we go. Adam Schefter, a hat trick of trades today for the Eagles. Philadelphia now is acquiring a 2027 sixth-round pick from Green Bay in exchange for offensive tackle Darian Kennard, per sources. It is the Eagles' third trade today and the second involving an offensive tackle. The Eagles also traded for offensive tackle Fred Johnson, then traded Kennard, who already is a 3-time Super Bowl champion at the age of 25 years old. So he's a young whippersnapper. Loving the ink, too. My man looked like that's the guy you want to walk down a dark alley with, right? You know what I'm saying? So
I like the move, too.
Yeah.
2027, not 26, 27 sixth-round pick. That's a nice roster move, I think.
Let's see if we could pull it up on PFF here. You guys talk about it for a second. Jacob, what do you think, man? Just adding a little bit more depth. We were just talking about the offensive line. This guy obviously going to make the roster, so that shakes everything completely up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, what implications does this have? And we talked about trying to get some experience. It's very a Packers move to have a guy that, again, very young, but already has 3 Super Bowls under his belt. Somebody that's obviously seen very high-end experience and, played for a team that we argued had probably the best, line on both sides of the ball the last few years. Like, that's exactly what we're trying to kind of mold our offense and our defensive line about, just having more studs in the trenches. I don't know, man. I like it. What do you think, Tim?
My head went right to where Coach Lenz is thinking, does Telford still make this roster? Because we went with a tackle. Because my first thought went to like Lacita Smith or some of these interior guys. When I saw we picked up a tackle, I'm wondering what that does when it comes to our roster projections here.
I mean, he kind of fits the mold, 6'5", 322, says Greg Rice. So obviously we like them big old dogs up front now. And a 6th round, I hope so.
Having a hard time finding him here. This ain't a good sign, is it?
Greg Rice.
Thick.
No, we got him. All right.
5.32 RAS. So, not the craziest, but again, it's offensive line. So,
yeah. And look, this is kind of odd. It's got 2022 and then 2024. There's nothing in between. What is up with that? And I should know who this guy is. He actually played for the Kentucky Wildcats. 5th round selection, pick 145. 61.3 was the PFF grade last year. Minimal snaps, so 71 snaps, I think. So 6'5", 322. They continue to go big, though. No doubt about that. So Darian Kennard, your newest Green Bay Packer. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens.
all right.
That's the kind of trade I want to hear announced.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, just these subtle little pickups in the trenches, right, Tim? We don't need to go, sell half a Lambeau Field to try to pick up a pass rusher that's going to eat up $41 million in cap.
Yeah. But, what do you think about Joseph's? So I believe he means Donovan Jennings gone.
Yep. I think I can see that. I can see that, man, for sure. Let's see, just a quick little teaser for tomorrow. So. Matt Schnaubman had Donovan Jennings making the team, both him and Kadeem Telford making the 53. So, yeah, Donovan Jennings out of those. It's either Donovan Jennings or Kadeem Telford would be the odd man out, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be Jennings probably then.
I would put Jennings on the practice squad and keep Kadeem Telford. I agree with you, Tim. Yeah, that's the route I would go to. So, there you go, man. Who was it that originally told us this in the chat that this happened, this trade?
Oh, man.
Do you have it starred?
I don't think I do. It was
whoever it is, just know we appreciate you. Okay, I just wanted to give credit there. So, but yeah, all right. So moving along here, let's talk a little Javon Bullard. We're gonna get ready to wrap up here real quick, and my wife's gonna be mad at me. Surprise!
It was B. Timmy.
B. Timmy. All right, thank you so much, B. Timmy. So last year, or actually January 6th, earlier this year, I said Javon Bullard has been far from perfect, but most rookie second-round picks are. However, he really shows promise in the slot as opposed to safety. Great job blowing up the smoke route to a significantly larger pass catcher. And then, lo and behold, we got a clip here from the game yesterday. Javon Bullard is a natural slot cornerback and plays his best ball in and around the box. Great anticipation in this cover one hole call. Recognizing the assignment, the Y stays home, so he immediately shifts to a spy contain on Jalen Milroe. Bullard matches Milroe's elite speed, as you can see here. Watch Bullard run down Jalen Milroe, who obviously had a blazing 40-yard dash at the combine. So you'll see him kind of set up, square up. This is what Bullard does well, guys, right there. And I know that you look at that and go, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal. If he doesn't press him there, Milroe's got more time to get beyond the line of scrimmage or find another target on down the field. Watch how Bullard presses inside real quick. Looks like Quay picks up the Y here, and then he settles in the hole as they pass it off, and just he's all over him, man. Absolutely all over him. So
talk about body control, right? Mm-hmm. Being able to go right like that, stop on a dime, not go ass over tea kettle and look stupid.
Yep.
That's incredible. That's all Bullard right here. I mean, he literally forced an incompletion here.
Yeah.
Love it.
And again, that's what he does well, Jacob. I love him in the slot. Love Bullard in the slot, man.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Now, I mean, just real quick, me and Tim saw him last night yesterday, and we were just like, man, he just looks like he should. That's where he should be. That's where he's comfortable. It looks like where his skill set can be improved and where he can actually reach his potential. You guys know I love Bullard. I'm not ready to give up on that kid yet, and I think that he's got his best football years in front of him.
Yep.
Built to ass.
That's right.
Know what I'm saying?
It's always the know what I'm saying that gets me. All right.
Dude, Nate Hobbs is a dog. I can't wait till he's back on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
I want to get y'all's take on this. Carl Brooks wraps up the 2025 preseason with an 89.6 PFF grade on 45 snaps. We may be looking at the third-year leap that we were expecting in year 2. Tim, you remember last year in camp, he dominated during training camp. Everybody talked about Matt LaFleur was constantly saying, great job, Carl. Great job, Carl. Like you could hear it every practice. We expected a big jump last year. He took a step back, obviously, right? To what was it? He went from in 2023, he was a 77.5, and then he stepped back to a 60. This is preseason grades, right? And he didn't play as well as I expected him to in the regular season last year. But boy, oh boy, is he off to a fast start here. I mean, you're talking about an 89.6 PFF grade. You think about those defensive tackles: Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark. Who's number 3 in the middle? It's got to be Carl, right? Is there anyone I'm missing that would be your number 3 defensive tackle other than Carl Brooks?
We had that conversation about Stack. We know it's not going to be Stack probably, right? And I think even with a little step back last year, we've always believed in the type of player that Carl Brooks is and the potential to, be the type of player I'm sure he wants to be, which is lights out all the time. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, Clay. That's a great point.
If we were to pull up the depth chart real quick, let's just take a quick glance, see if there's somebody we're missing here, right?
I mean, the only other one you can think of would be Wooden. I think that he's outperformed what I thought. But I just, like you said, man, Carl Brooks decided to absolutely show up, and I'm here for it, dude.
Yeah, and see, I'm not as high on Colby Wooden as everyone else is. Everybody else, I think I'm the only person I'm like, I don't think he's had a good camp. Everyone else is talking about Colby Wooden's played pretty good. I would definitely put Carl Brooks above Colby Wooden on the depth chart.
Yep.
Warren Brinson will probably be the next one. It's definitely Colby Wooden after Carl Brooks, no doubt about it. But Stackhouse, I kind of feel like is just that one-trick pony, kind of that nose tackle, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how I would shake that out.
You got anything on James Esser? Because I saw he was in the mix a couple plays yesterday too.
Yeah, I don't think
sure he's a practice squad candidate.
Yeah, I don't think he has a shot to make the 53 at all, and I'm sure you agree with that. But it does look like, just a little spoiler alert, that Matt Schneidman in his early 53-man roster projection, he actually had Esther making the practice squad, Tim. So you're spot on there, man.
Nice.
All right, so there's Carl Brooks. Then we got one more. We got to do a giveaway. Jacob, you're not going to like this one. Okay?
Oh, no.
I didn't like it either. It's weird to say, man, you don't like it when a Packer plays well, but I'm ready for Brenton Cox Jr. to take over that number 3 edge spot, right? Well, Kingsley Enagbare, all right. He finished the preseason with a 90.2 PFF grade on 54 snaps, and he was all over the joint. Like, he was all over the place. It seemed like every single week he played solid football. It's just when we see Brenton Cox Jr. starting to kind of peak, now Enagbare ups his game, which that's what competition does, right? But what do you think, man? I know Cox is rising, Jacob, but Enagbare hanging around too. Man, what the hell's wrong?
Yeah, no, I mean it fits. Tim just gifted me Brenton Cox towel, so I got my Cox towel behind me. That's gonna be.
It was autographed.
It was autographed. Yes, thank you.
Let's clear that up real quick.
This is better suited right here.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. I think we know what we've gotten in Gary and with LVN. I hope he takes a step and becomes the type of player that I think we all think he will be and can be. But what a great problem to have, that the 3 and 4. Yes. If you have to think about, I love Denigbare. I love JJ Kingsley coming out, and I think the injury kind of took a major setback to his career, and I believe that when he came back, he didn't quite test himself enough, or didn't trust that knee and the recovery process. What a great thing to think that if he now is confident and he has this ability, that he's just we're gonna have some sharks, dude. Oh, that's why with the whole Micah Parsons thing, it's like, why stop some of these guys that are just absolutely chewing on bits to get in there and hit that quarterback? And I have a real belief that Jeff Hafley understood that last year maybe we lacked a certain type of grit and a certain type of ability to rush the quarterback, and it hurt the team. So I think that I want to see come on, respect oranges. I think it'd just be a welcome surprise to see maybe multiple guys, absolutely, like Carl Brooks, like we just talked about, with Brenton Cox Jr. and Igbare, even maybe an underdog like a Desmond Alexander or a Mosby or somebody just else that just is just the rotation we do at that edge defender position is going to be, I think, critical this year. And man, we got some absolute dogs.
Great point about Mosby too, because that's a guy that's kind of sneaky, kind of improving too, kind of under the radar. If you really keep an eye on him, he's been playing a lot better than he did last year as well. So that's another good problem to have.
Yeah, and respect oranges, sir.
Sit your butt outside.
We can't have those kind of comments. What's going on?
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And then
I love how I started it. Now I'm scolding people, right? All right, maybe I got
some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
I think.
Can I ask a question? Which
absolutely not.
Sure, we're only 56 minutes into a 40-minute show.
Sorry.
Go ahead, man. You good?
First time I've ever seen Legends_SQ, but he says Packers trading for an offensive lineman makes no sense. Why take Belton that high then? Goot needs to be studied.
Well, I agree with that last part. Goot definitely should be studied. While he teaches a master class in being a GM in the modern NFL. Yes, I agree with that.
Listen, man, go back. If you're asking why are we getting another offensive lineman, please do yourself a favor. Go back and watch the Eagles game one more time. Just go back and watch it one more time.
Yep.
That's the reason we could not, kept it close for a second, made that little bit of a comeback, if I remember correctly, but offensive line just absolutely crumbled, man. It took one injury and everything went all to hell, right? So what did you do? You go out and get Aaron Banks. You draft Anthony Belton in the second round. What this tells me is they took Anthony Belton in the second round thinking this guy could contribute right away. Okay, he's not far enough along. Let's go grab another veteran and shore up the bottom side of that offensive line and just keep this thing moving. I like the move. Again, there's a chance he may not, he may be on the team for a couple of weeks and they cut him loose, and there might be some kind of incentive around that trade in terms of the draft capital going back. But you've got to continue to build the trenches, man. The good teams build trenches. Yeah,
he went on to say, to his credit, he said Kennard to Green Bay, happy emoji kind of stuff.
And I'm not gonna lie, he's good.
He's good. Not gonna lie, Walker gone. Now that's to me would be interesting. Are they shoring up that type of situation? I mean, I still just I would hate to see Walker go, but I could understand it now.
We saw Jordan Morgan play pretty good at left tackle on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
I was going to try to see if we could see where he lined up.
Snap count.
Yeah, was Kennard a right tackle or left tackle?
PFF, man, for all the good things they do, they got some ways of doing stuff, and I'm like, what are y'all smoking? Like, why would you? It's unbelievable, man. Let me see.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah, it took me completely off that screen and everything. So, all right, let's do a giveaway and get out of here. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
So, if you're new here and going, what in the heck is this? That's Larry McCarron's pinky. Okay, it's hanging on by a thread. We're going to give away an autographed Lucas Van Ness card. Tim, give me that hands video real quick, bro. I need that in my life. You know what I'm saying? I got to have that right now.
How about these hands?
All right, so here we are. Hit it one more time.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you? How about these hands?
funny is it's not the actual picture we got on the wheel from that video. So we found another footage of him holding that pinky up. So, man, some tough skin there.
How does he get his wallet out? Like, man.
Jacob asking the important questions here.
Unbelievable, man. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Anybody who's a member of the Patreon group, this is something we do on a regular basis. If you're a member of the $3 tier, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. It's just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. Also, if you're a member on YouTube, we do giveaways there, and that enters you into the giveaway as well. So this is all of our YouTube members and our Patreon community, okay? So we need somebody in the chat. Give me a number between 1 and 10 so Joseph can't say it's rigged. Too late. Give me a number between 1 and 10, and real quick, we'll shuffle this thing. All right. Donovan Schilling says 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's spin that sucker. And the winner of the autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card is
Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
Home that tater. Travis Stace.
I knew he would win. I knew that guy had luck. All right, Travis.
Here's the guy.
Stace. All right, Travis Stace. Here's the deal, man. Shoot me a message over on Patreon, okay? If you're in the Patreon group. If you're not and you're a member on YouTube, shoot me a text, 865-658-5824. About gave up my real number. That would have been bad. 865-658-5824, okay? But congratulations, Travis, and thank you for supporting the channel, buddy. We appreciate you, man. So anything else, gents? Anything at all?
I'm getting asked a question in the chat here.
Oh, no.
I got one comment real quick.
Tim,
Kay Adams. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Let me just hit this comment. He said, who did I think the trade was when we initially had the breaking news? Of course, I thought we crapped ourselves and auctioned off the farm for Micah Parsons. Now,
thought we sold the Packer Pro Shop to
let me be clear. Micah Parsons is a dog and a freak athlete, a phenomenal edge rusher. We cannot deny that. He will make any team that he's on better. That being said, I like our guys. I like the work we have into the guys that we have and the progress that we've seen. I think everybody on this show knows that sacks are not the number one goal for a defensive line on every play. It's not the most important stat to judge every single pass rusher by. And I think we've embraced that philosophy here with Jeff Hafley and Coach Covington and the boys. And I'm willing to stay the course with what we've been building. So that's why I was a little shocked. I thought maybe, just maybe, somebody had other plans. So I was relieved that it was not a Micah Parsons trade. So
yeah, and I think everybody on this show agrees. We would love to have Micah Parsons on the Packers. The Packers would be instantly a better team. There's no two ways about it. But the thought of having to give up multiple first-round picks and $41 million per on average is just absolute insanity. That's the type of stuff that teams like the Dallas Cowboys do. And I heard a stat the other day. It's going to blow your mind. You know how we always talk about the Packers' dark days, and we always brag on the fans that kept coming out to Lambeau and kept it sold out through the 70s and the 80s, and then obviously there into the early 90s, right? Do you realize that the last time the Cowboys won a championship, from today back to the last time they won a Super Bowl, that drought is a wider span than when the Packers from the 1960s era to Brett Favre's first Super Bowl. Think about that.
That's crazy.
Why do these teams – how many times have you seen the Madden ratings of the Dallas Cowboys and they're just through the roof? It's like, oh, they got a superstar team, right? How many times have you seen people pick the Cowboys to win the whole thing in the last 10 years? Why haven't they gotten it done? Because they've got players on their team that they're willing to overpay. In this case, they're not going to overpay Dak or Micah. But look at Dak Prescott. Broke the bank for him. CD Lamb last year. When that CD Lamb contract came down the pike, I said I would re-sign Micah before CD Lamb. You asked me, why would you do that, Clayton? Because edge defender is a position of tier 1 importance. Wide receiver is not. Wide receiver is the last piece you put in place, right? So, again, I would love to have Micah, but you go doing stuff like that where you mortgage off 2 firsts and a second along with a $41 million contract. People were saying they would give up Rashawn Gary, 2 firsts, a second, a fifth, and pay him $41 million. And then you look up in 3 years and go,
You got hold to the wrong stuff.
That's perfect.
I said, you're going to look up in a few years and go, what happened? And before I can say what happened, it could be a crash. All right. That's it, guys. We're out of here. Tim, Jake.
Can I do one more stat quick? Just 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're going to pay for my divorce lawyer. I promise you.
I'm sorry, Mandy. Kay Adams in the Josh Jacobs interview was awesome. She's an amazing lady. She brought up the fact that he needs 126 yards rushing in week 1 to be the third fastest modern player in the NFL to reach 7,000 yards in history.
Yeah.
The only two that have done it faster is Saquon Barkley and Terrell Davis. When he said that, he said, I didn't know that. I'm glad you brought that up. And she said, do you need to tell Matt LaFleur that now? And he goes, no, it'll be unspoken. He knows. And so look for him to be fed early in that game. I think that might be a difference.
He's going to hit it in week 1 against the Lions. Book it. Let's go.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody in the chat. This was a fun show. Planned on going 40 minutes. I'm in trouble. It's okay. Celestial Prophet, thank you for the super chat. Fishy Things, thank you for the super chat as well. Again, everybody in our Patreon group, thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support what we do here at PTA, just go to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access, or just join here on YouTube as well. So really appreciate everybody's time. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. If you're new here, click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. You never know. News breaks tomorrow afternoon. You may just see the live stream pop up. I'll hop on here for 10 or 15 minutes, get you guys the information, and get right back out. But you can always count on that show pretty much every night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So chat was on fire. You guys are the MVP. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow for PTA Live. Everybody have a good evening. And Jacob, don't go hitting on no cops, bro.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.